Today I'm going to share one of my favorite holiday tips and tricks and recipes, as well as share fellowship with one of my dearest friends and a favorite location. I'm glad you're here. Welcome home. Hey y'all, welcome to Heritage Ways. Today we're going to make easy and fun personal pies. Now, how many times have you tried to serve a pie and maybe it didn't come out right? Maybe you had too many pieces left over. Different folks at your table, at your buffet table, at your holiday table rather, they like different kinds of pie. Well, today I hope I'm going to help you solve that. And it's going to be a very special fellowship today, because joining me through another video is my dear friend Mary from Mary's Nest. And I'll talk more about my dear friend here in a little bit. And also joining in with us today, both Mary and me, is Lehman's in Kidron, Ohio. I know y'all know that is one of my favorite, or it is my favorite store destination, has been for probably 30 something years. So my friend Mary over on Mary's Nest today is going to be talking about savory pies, and I'm going to be talking about some sweet ones. So stay. The link for Mary's video in our collaboration today can be found in my description box under this video. I know you're going to want to check it out. All right, well, I'm Miss Katie, and welcome again to Heritage Ways. And Heritage Ways is where I encourage diligent homemakers. You might be a diligent homemaker, and I'm betting that you are. A diligent homemaker is one who does her best with what she has. She may choose at sometimes to save more money and sometimes to save more time. Time is money, and sometimes you have to buy something, a convenience food. Sometimes you'd rather make it yourself. We do the best with what we have, whether it's our money or our time or our energy, right? So I just encourage diligent homemakers. I'm one myself. I love to make my own bread. I love to make my own butter, and I also purchase bread and butter. So if you're a diligent homemaker and you're just doing the best you can, always looking to improve, but doing the best you can, I would love for you to subscribe to Heritage Ways here at YouTube, and then check out my website, heritageways.com. I'm going to cut this parchment while I'm talking. That's a little too much. Love parchment paper. 12 inches of parchment. And I'm going to cut it into strips. My friend Mary has been just a dear friend to me ever since I was subscriber number 187 to her YouTube channel. And now she has almost 1 million, and I'm so thrilled. She deserves every sweet friend that she has on her channel. So thanks for supporting Mary and her quest to teach traditional foods, and encourage us all to have a more traditional foods kitchen. You know, the diligent homemaker can strive toward having a traditional foods kitchen. I know I do. So I folded the parchment in half, and I'm just going to either cut it or, well, I thought it might tear evenly, but it won't. I'm just going to cut it in half with some kitchen scissors. I'm going to just cut strips. If you want to make it easier, you can just put it on top of each other and just cut the strips. And these are going to be handles for your pies. And you'll see what I'm meaning. While I'm cutting these, I'll tell you that our family has moved here from Tennessee, where we lived for 52 years, up to Ohio Amish country 3 years ago. And I am so happy to be here. All right, now we have our handles. I'm going to just set them over to the side. And the personal pies, I've been making these for years, especially at Thanksgiving. Now at Thanksgiving, you know, a lot of folks have a buffet table, and this is good for a buffet table. You can have a variety of little miniature pies, personal pies. Folks can maybe try one of each or more if they want. I have made these, and I have made fudge, pumpkin pie, cherry. You could do any kind of regular pie, any kind that you would normally make a 9-inch pie, you could make into these personal pies. Also, the Diligent Homemaker knows that she can buy convenience products or she can make her own. And today I'm going to show you a little bit more of a convenience way to make these, because I know a lot of us right now, I've heard from you, you talk to me, and we're stressed and we're tired, and we really want to focus our energies maybe more on our families right now and time with folks than maybe making your own making your own pie crust or pie filling, which you can do. And I want to point that out too. That would be saving money. The saving money aspect, if you made your own pie crust and maybe your pie filling, if you had apples available. Now, here in a minute, our pies are going to be in the oven, and while they're cooking, I want to show you how to make your own apple pie filling. Some people like to avoid some of the ingredients that might be in canned pie filling, and I completely understand that. So I want to share with you a recipe, show you how to make your own apple pie filling that you can use for your own 2-crust pie, whether the crust is homemade or purchased. And also you can use it for this personal pie method. I'm going to show you an old cookbook that I get the recipe from, and I'm also going to share some other cookbooks, because don't we all love cookbooks, especially the tried and the true, the old-fashioned and the heritage kind. All right, let's go through the motions of a more convenience pie, and it really doesn't take long at all, but I want to show you this product that I'm using. I actually love this USA pan line. Number one, because it is made in the USA, and if you stick with me long, you'll realize I am about shopping as local and close to home as possible. This is the 12, just the standard 12 cup muffin tin. And I believe my friend Mary has the jumbo, and she calls that the Texas size because she's from Texas, or lives in Texas. This is made of heavy gauge aluminized steel, and I want to tell you, you do not need to use any spray on this. Foods just come right out. And because it has this non-stick silicone coating, we're going to bring over our refrigerated pie crust. Now, I will tell you, I actually prefer the off brands, the store brands, if you will, and to the name brands. I actually prefer the store brands. The cost is much better, and I honestly think the flavor is better than the big name brand. That's my personal opinion. These came from my local IGA, but I will tell you that the other day I bought from Aldi, and it had parchment covering it so that it didn't stick to itself, and I thought that was such a delightful idea, because sometimes we have these to stick to each other. Now, that one that I was practicing with and working with just for my family worked perfectly the other night. This one seems to have some stubbornness, and isn't that the way it works when you're having company or you're making a video? You sometimes have some issues that you wouldn't have ordinarily. And you know, speaking of company, I really, again, I like doing this method when I have a lot of folks over. I'll give you some tips. You can make several types of pies, and you can bake them, and you can put them in the oven or the freezer after they've cooled completely, and you can pull those out for the holidays. You can pull it out if you're just 1 or 2 people at home and you just want a little pie. You can either warm it up or have it cold, but it's a great idea to have just if you want a little bite of something sweet. You've got these little pies in the refrigerator, or the freezer rather, ready to just warm up or eat cold. We're going to use a wide mouth canning ring as a cutter, and I'm just going to cut it like so. Now I have 7 with some dough left over. So here's what we're going to do next. We're just going to take our little handles, and we're going to put them in the muffin tin. Now, I will tell you, this USA pan line, it does not, foods do not stick, okay? But this is easier to pull out your pies if you have the handles. Another thing is, no, you should not use wax paper for this. It needs to be parchment. Pies are just such a heritage item for the holidays. Would you agree? I'd love to know your favorite pie. I would love for you to tell me in the comments below, what is your favorite pie? Holidays or not holidays, still your favorite pie. I'd love to ask people those types of questions and see what we have in common and our differences. That's what makes the world go round. So let me know. I would have to say mine is probably either fudge or pecan. I like my mother's fudge pie. And also, you can make the fudge pie in these personal method. That's part of my heritage, the fudge pie. My mama made every Christmas. I call myself bi-regional because my daddy is from Ohio and my mama's from Tennessee, and I grew up in Tennessee. And I have experience with foods from both regions because my family is from both North and the South. And my Southern family always made the gooey pies, the chess pie and the chocolate pie and the pecan pie, that kind of thing. My Northern family always made the fruity pies, maybe apple, cherry, even pumpkin or rhubarb. So I'm thankful for that heritage. I was talking to my friend Mary the other day on the telephone, and we were talking about heritage, and she's going to be sharing a recipe from her heritage, and she'll explain that. But we were talking about Lehman's as well, and I love the heritage of Lehman's. Jay Lehman, Mr. Lehman, started Lehman's to just help the community, and they still give back to the community in a very big way. And they've grown and been blessed, and I'm just thankful to have that resource right down the road from me. But if you don't have that resource, you certainly have it online as well. So I'm going to open a can of apple pie filling, because first I want to show you how easy this is to make it just in a convenience way. So if you don't mind buying canned pie filling of any kind, you can just grab that and open your can. Okay, now we have this canned pie filling, and I want to show you, this is intended for a larger crust, obviously. So I'm just going to take a knife and just kind of cut up the pieces. You wouldn't have to do this if you had cherry pie filling. And I did use cherry pie filling the other day when I made some for my Mr. Patient. He prefers cherry, he says. What kind of pie would you like for me to make for you? Right, now I have just a small wooden spoon here, and you're going to need kind of a little, maybe a tablespoon type size. And you're just going to fill your unbaked pie shells. You see why it was beneficial to chop the apples up a little bit. And I just pretty much fill it to the top of the pie shell. That one's even a little above. Now, to put your top crust. You can lattice this if you want to. That's perfectly fine. What I've done in the past, just for my family, and even guests, I have literally just taken the extra pieces and put them on top, like so, and it turned out absolutely fine. It's kind of rustic looking that way, and I'm kind of rustic. I like rustic, I like antique, I like old things, and this is rustic. But if you would prefer something a little more finished, you can take a smaller ring. This is the smaller of the two rings, and you can take try to take what's left of the bigger piece there. And it's got some dents in it, but that's okay. I'm just demonstrating. You can use another roll of dough if you want. But see, that smaller one fits right there perfectly on top. Now we are going to make sure we come back and make slits in that. I just about had enough. Look at that. So that's one roll of refrigerator pie crust. I'm just going to make slits in this one so that the steam can escape. And then I'm going to sprinkle with cinnamon sugar mixture that I have mixed up. So we ended up with a dozen pies, personal pies, using 2 rolls of the refrigerated pie crust and 1 can of the pie filling. You're invited to visit heritageways.com for the accompanying blog post and printable recipes. Link is in the description box below the video. Gonna be delicious. Just the thing you might want for breakfast with a cup of coffee. 400 for about 20 minutes. The crust will be lightly brown. The filling might be bubbling a little bit out of the little holes, peeking out of the holes, and that's absolutely fine. So let's bake. All right, our personal pies are in the oven. I want to show you how to make your own apple pie filling. It is not difficult at all, but it does require the extra effort. I went today to my local apple farm, apple stand. I don't want to even say stand. It's a glorified, it's wonderful. And that family has been in this apple stand business or apple business for 2 or 3 generations. So I love giving them my business. They have all sorts of apples from which to choose and cider. And today I got an apple fritter. And yes, I did share it with my little music man, my 12-year-old son. It was yummy. They have pumpkin rolls. Anyway, I digress because, oh, so wonderful. But I ended up bringing home Jonna Gold and Cortland. So I talked with the owners there, and that's what they suggested for our apple pie. The apple peeler core slicer machine today to prepare these apples that I am going to use to make apple pie filling for another pie later. But I just wanted to go ahead and show you how easy it was. And what I did after I peeled, cored, sliced all in one fell swoop, as you can see here, I just took a knife, paring knife, and just cut them down just 4 ways, and then ended up with the little pieces. And these are going to be even more perfect for our personal pie. So that is what I have peeled, cored, and sliced all in one fell swoop with the apple peeler core slicer. And it just makes the job so much faster. And especially I love the clamp. So if you're looking to get one of those, let me just say, buy one with the clamp. Wherever you get it, buy one with the clamp. Now this recipe comes from Farm Journal's Homemade Pies, Cookies, and Bread. I love old cookbooks. I love any cookbooks, y'all. Apple pie, the top farm favorite. Old-fashioned apple pie. So that is what I'm going to show you today. Now, I want to say this. I will have a blog post on my website, heritageways.com, and it will talk more about what we've talked about today. And it will have some recipes and some recipe links and printables and all kinds of things that could help you out in your diligent homemaking. I would be amiss if I didn't tell you, I love my friend Mary's cookbook, and I just want to let you know there'll be a link to check that out, to read about it in the description box of the video. So the Modern Pioneer Cookbook. So I'm so thrilled with her, and this book is just absolutely just beautiful. So I'm thrilled for her to have this book out. And then the 2 books that I've written thus far are From Katie's Kitchen, Volume 1, and Supper's Ready, Let's Eat. And these are my copies, so you're going to see that they've been through the ringer, but they're our family favorites. And so you can also find that on our website, heritageways.com. Well, the first thing we're going to do is mix our dry ingredients. We have 1 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of flour. That's all-purpose flour. We have a teaspoon of cinnamon, Now, you could use apple pie spice or pumpkin pie spice or whatever you have. I do have a recipe for this in my cookbook because I have an entire chapter on mixes and pantry seasoning mixes. Next is an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg. I love nutmeg. I especially love it in sweet potato pie. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I only use Redmond real salt for everything I do. Mix this together. Already smells great with those spices. Put 6 to 7 cups of apples added to the sugar mixture. I love this bowl. It's made in USA, but if I'm not mistaken, I actually think it's made here in Ohio, which makes me very happy to support my local economy. Actually, they have a line of different sizes of these type bowls. Aren't they beautiful? They're at Lehman's. They have a line of them. I appreciate Lehman so much for making this video possible so that Mary and I can share some of our favorite things and our favorite tips. I love going into Lehman's. My daughter and my aunt were there just the other day, and uncle, getting some things for their homestead. Because Lehman's has all kinds of things for a simpler life. I appreciate that about Lehman's heritage. There we go. That's all there is to it. Now, how simple is that? All you do is put this in your unbaked pie shell, and you will dot it with butter, the filling, and then you'll put the other crust on top and bake according to the directions. How easy is that? Oh wow, look at that. Ooh, bubbly and delicious. Can you hear the goodness? It's best to allow them to set for just a couple of minutes, but look at there. Pull out. How about that? Easy. Everybody has his or her own little pie. You can have them throughout the winter. Make a little batch. Pull them out of your freezer. You can have them on your buffet table. You can make them savory or sweet. You can have savory like my friend Mary is having. Uh-oh, I dropped that one. Ooh, saved by the handle. You can make quiches with this. I think the possibilities are endless, and I'd love to know how you would use these little personal pies. There you go, my friend. There are the individual personal pies that you can personalize for your guest and yourself. I'm so glad you're here. If you are new here, this is the first time that you have visited Heritage Ways, I want you to feel welcome. I want you to feel like you've walked in and you are home. So welcome home, my friends, and don't forget to count your blessings. I'm Miss Katie, and I will see you next time here at Heritage Ways YouTube or over on my website, heritageways.com.